Pretty good, actually. I am really looking forward to having you on today because when Danny told me, "Hey, I've got a guy," and whenever he says that, I'm always like, "Well, they're probably going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread because they always are." So I was really excited to get you on today. Before we get started, there's a lot of folks that love stalking our guests and following them on social media and doing all the stuff. Let's get that out of the way first. How do we find you and everything?
At Modern MC. At Modern MC on
That's it.
Twitter, Instagram. Yep. I try to keep it seamless so you
It's a
don't you can search
professional.
me on anything and just boom at Modern MC. Also, my website is spenceraps.com. I do like a lot of freelance work, so that has like all my work up there. But yeah, at Modern MC is where you can find me on Instagram. I do like a lot of I feature a lot of other rappers, like dudes doing freestyles and things of that nature, and I let the audience rate them hot or not and stuff like that. Put up a lot of stuff about numerology as it pertains to like the hip hop industry and things of that
Wow.
nature, and try to keep like a more of a positive message on there. I mean, you can rate a rapper trash if you want to. That's your business. But
That's
I
your
try to
business.
build a relationship with the artist so that that they feel like they're not posting for nothing, because there's a lot of talent that goes unseen, just just in the hashtags, and so I
Yeah.
try to pull those guys out. But yeah, other than that, I'm still getting my personal stuff, my ducks in a row, because this year, as you've seen, has been just unpredictable. Like, it hit us with a bunch of from left field a few times, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Crazy year.
Yes.
I've been able to find like a groove of mine, so I'm getting that together on my end. So yeah, Modern MC is going to be exactly what it sounds like. But that's where you can find me. Long story short.
It's a great. Let me just tell you a little bit about how I found Spence, James, because I had a couple of beats, and I was sort of starting my own record label, just a bit of producing, and I was just finding
Yeah.
my feet, and I was searching for databases of voice samples, rappers, singers, and I came across Spence's page, listened to a couple of his bits that he'd done previously for other producers and other rappers, and I thought, this guy fits perfect. He undersells himself, right? He's lyrically a genius. When he writes, he goes all in. I mean, there's meaning behind the raps. They actually are telling you something. And that's what I really like about him. And his, overall flow and style. He's just a, very smart guy. And I'm really pleased we could get him on today.
Well, and also when I was told about you, Spence, that you're from Jackson, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I almost moved to Jackson, Tennessee a year or two ago.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so I thought this was that this was kind of interesting. We never. Well, I went down to Tennessee, and I ended up in this place called Dyersburg, of all places. I always say that you have to say that at the end of it. Dyersburg, as of all places. So tell me about the Tennessee music scene. What is that like?
Okay, so you have it as it's been over the years. It actually has a lot of flavors people don't know about, and I want to just break it down. So like, I look at Tennessee, just me personally, me being a fan of New York hip hop, I look at Tennessee as New York rappers will look at like different boroughs. So it's like Murfreesboro has its own flavor, Nashville has its own flavor, um, Jackson has its own flavor, and me being from Jackson, there are a lot of different subgenres of Jackson music that a lot of people would really like just passing through wouldn't even think to care about. Memphis has its own history in itself. Like Project Pat, 3 6 Mafia, stuff like that, and so you got like you have like Memphis is pretty like Yo Gotti, like
Oh
really
yeah.
known, already, but the rest of Tennessee, it's kind of like once you get to Nashville, it's like country music. People just skip way over Jackson, and like it's in between these two. I don't want to say meccas, but just two, hubs of great music scenes. Even past rap, you got like Memphis is known for just attached to Elvis. You know what I mean? Just that's what people think about.
Great.
So it's like so you got Beale Street and things of that nature in Memphis, but you get to Jackson and it's kind of like even people from Tennessee, like they just kind of gloss over Jackson. Yet it's like a smaller town, but it has that growing potential. Like once you get to Nashville, you see the country influence, and yet a lot of guys I know from Nashville have their own sound of rap that's more like kind of not really lo-fi, but it's like this airiness to it, to where it's like a focus back on the lyrics, which is great. But they're like they're weirdos, and I mean that in like the best way. From what I can tell, it's like everybody's so polished. Like Nashville is polished. Like if I could say one thing about Nashville rap, it's just like everybody in Nashville is just they're about their own stuff. Like they have their sound figured out. Jackson is, and I'm making an emphasis on Jackson because like there's a lot of talent there that needs to be examined, because it'll just get glossed over if I don't say anything. You got the artists. We got like Tokyo Ant. We got Jay Izzo. And I think it's his birthday today. And
Jay Izzo. How does he spell the last name?
Izzo.
I have a guy. You are a fountain of connections, sir. I have a guy that I do a show with. He calls himself the Internet Doctor, and his last name is Izzo, and his first name is Jay Izzo. It's Izzo. I need you to link me up with him, because we need to have a radio program sometime called Izzo to Izzo. And
I think you would appreciate that. He had no idea what he's talking about. Like that's a different circle than I would. Like I'm pretty much to myself. I'm a to myself guy, but
yes.
I keep tabs on everybody, and I'm cool, like loosely cool with everybody. But I could hit him up now.
Okay, yeah, because
great guy, great, really open. Yeah, really open, and also, so like where I come in, like loving like mostly primarily New York rap. I kind of styled myself off of, like the greats, like the.
Oh
greats.
yeah.
So when you talk about a top 5, top 10, like so I sound a little bit different than anybody, but yet being from Tennessee and freelancing rapping over the years too, I've been asked to do everything under the sun, style wise. So I have my bag where I sound like I'm. I sound like I'm from Tennessee, and so it's like, I just have all these different flavors, and that's kind of really what Tennessee is. It's like it's really a melting pot more than people would think it is, and that's a story you really don't hear from a lot of people. I mean, Isaiah Rashad's from Chattanooga, and he signed a TDE.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll tell you that there when I was down there in Tennessee, I seen a little bit of everything, and there's still people promoting stuff. You're still hitting the streets and doing things. One of my good friends, DJ Spawn, was involved in a DJ Zoom call or whatever maybe a couple days ago. And he said that today's artists, and maybe you can back us up on this, they don't have to go out and hawk their music anymore. They just send people a SoundCloud link.
You don't have to, but it's that. Here's what I did when I was in college, right? And I came out with my mixtape. It's on Bandcamp. It can't be on any of the streaming services because I got mad samples in there, and I'm not charging for it. I'm just giving it away, and that's what it was intended to be for.
Yep.
It's called Going Jam. It can be found on lostclassic.bandcamp.com. I have to do some shameless self-promotion, Jiggy.
You're good.
When I was doing that project, I purposely made it accessible on CD. I literally had one laptop and I was just burning. And instead of like hiring somebody to mass produce, I said, no, I'm gonna sign all this by myself. Like I drew flames on the CD cover. Just
Yes.
as a satirical joke, and a lot of people just like, I know half of the people threw it away, and I was perfectly okay with that. The other half of people
Half the people threw it away.
I would give it to people, and then like I remember going out to his party, and like this one girl was mad drunk with her friends, and she was like, "Yo, Spence, that CD is amazing," and started like reciting lyrics from the CD, and I couldn't believe it because I had just given it to her that day, and like to this day I still get kudos on that. So I made it purposely like, yo, let me hand this out because in my mind, this is a collector's item, which is how everybody should look at their art, you know. But I purposely did that just to see, you know, if it would stand the test of time. And, you know, a lot of people still haven't heard of it, but the people who know it and who have it in their car still have it in their car. And so, you know, I can't do anything but be proud of myself on that, you know.
I've heard it. I can back that up 100%. 100%.
So we have got some music here from you, my friend. Tell us a little bit about some of these tracks we're gonna hear.
Man, Danny D always puts a battery in my back, and I think we got. Is it ready to? We got Ready to Show Up.
Ready to Show Up, and let's start with that one. Tell me and Danny here about this.
I made that. I think in 2018, and I want to say 2018 I first made it. And when he sent me these 3 beats to do, and one of them was Ready to Show Up, and it was just like, it was gritty, it was aggressive, and it was another side of myself. I mean, I feel like, you know how like actors, like they say when Tupac did Juice, he turned into Bishop after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like after I did this song, I turned into, you know, a different version of myself. So it's you know, I say one line on there, I got the keys like Elise's, and like I just, when I said that, I was like, oh, this is hard, you know. So I picked that up.
That's great.
And it was like, you know, it did pretty well, I think. And like some of my friends have like listened to it and said, yo, this is some of your best stuff. So yeah, it's just a all around really great song.
Well, we're going to play it, and I appreciate you being with us. We're going to be right back here with more after Ready to Show Up, and it's here on International Live.
It's a new day, you know what I mean? I ain't worried about it. Better luck tomorrow. What LeBron say? Be better tomorrow. I'm ready to show up, stretching my time. I must be in love with aerobics. I got a chip on my shoulder, yeah. I put my chick in a toga. Eyes on my head, but I notice. Bred in the city of stoners. Put me on beats for the comas. Breaking some bread with the homeless. I turn the money to tags. Reaching my bag when I want to relax, please. Don't hit my DM with text me. Probably won't see it till next week. All of these people want seats at the feast, but they can't even ask me, actually. You should hear all of these guests, man. Everything bumping like acne. Working too hard to give up now. I've been moving state to state, I'm in and out. All I do is play the hand I was dealt. I ain't never had a team, I'm by myself. I don't never put my hand up for no help. I know my mood is more important than the wealth. People say they get into it, I can't tell. When they ask me how I do you gotta let me know you in. We going global like you in. I elevate with a few friends. They treat me like I'm a mutant. I make 1,000 from 2 tens. You should not follow my footsteps. Strolling through Leicester and London where escorts and function and fly to LA with my new chick. Mileage game from a few trips. Mo been playing 036. This is the taste of rap genius. Show up and lace my Adidas. Rain on parades with my thesis. I got the keys like Elise's. Moving, I'm signing new leases. Rolling me great on the dean's list. People can take it or leave it. Better you take me to Neiman. Spend is my demon. End of the weekend. I make it back on the remix. Enemies want me to ease quick. Finna be done with the games in a minute. The showers and hitting the steam switch. Closer, I'll tell you a secret. Danny D making the beats. I've been working too hard to give up now. I've been moving state to state, I'm in and out. All I do is play the hand I was dealt. I ain't never had a team, I'm by myself. I don't never put my hand up for no help. I know my mood is more important than the wealth. People say they get into it, I can't tell. When they ask me how I do it well. Everybody showing out the clout. I'm about to speed up the countdown. I'm spitting Mario flower power. Take a seat for I chow down. Y'all like bleep bleep pow pow. I'm like hee hee how how. Easily read like marinara sauce. So-called MCs bow down. You ain't got wish to go toe to toe. Got it on lock with no downtown. Lady style and lost and found. I get around like surround sound. My homie told me I was competition. Should've never said that they're out loud. He ain't never see me wild out. Deucing on them like an outhouse. I've been working too hard to give up now. I've been moving state to state, I'm in and out. All I do is play the hand I was dealt. I ain't never had a team, I'm by myself.
Heck of a deal. That is quite the track. And we are going to go back to the old Skype. The old Skype-a-rooney. And I think we still have Spence with us. And, of course, as always, the man, the myth, the legend. He is like a ferret in a jello fight, Danny D. And, so Spence, you have worked with all sorts of different people. What's been some of the different folks that you can tell us that you've worked with? Because I'm sure there are people you've worked with that you can't tell us about because you've probably signed non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah. A lot of undiscovered talent. I'll say that. Like, I'm not even gonna flex like it's been like too many. I wish I could tell you guys about this one dude I worked with. Yeah, you're right. I can't tell.
I didn't know anything about non-disclosure agreements this week, this year, and now I do. So yeah. I agree with you, brother. You can't. You want to say something, but you can't.
It's crazy. Like, the most famous people that have contacted me are actually not even in the rap industry. So it's like it was wild because like I'll just get like the message of like what they need and I'll treat it like even if Drake would have hit me up, like I still treat it like, I was just, anybody else online, because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like the money grubber, come off like that. But when I looked this one dude up, I was like, oh, I saw how many followers he had verified. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm doing this, but it was a rap track. So I worked with I'm doing a kid CD now for Gifted and Lit. It's a kids hip hop CD, and I know a lot of people might be like, why are you talking about a kid CD? It's because like what people don't realize is that like freelancing, like the gig economy is making it so a lot of rappers can eat in a different way than just streams. So it's like, I can offer my services to, I've done stuff for a lot of podcasts, radio, personalities, YouTubers. Man, I can't tell a lot about, I can't tell, like, it's ghostwriting. It's at the end of the day, it's just ghostwriting. But I'll give you like some insight. Like, there's this one YouTube battle between these three gamers. And the third gamer never got awesome to me, but I was literally battling myself, my own pen, and I got their audiences like these are millions of people like saying, oh, he had the better one, and I'm just looking like, oh man, these are pretty good, these are pretty nice, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I worked with,
who says kayfabe ain't dead? You that's great.
Yeah, but a lot of my favorite stuff to do is kid stuff, and this is why I'm not, ashamed or reluctant to bring that stuff up. But yeah, it's just a lot of ghostwriting projects. I've done a few features, but also my favorite, most proud collaborations is with this guy I work with, Franchise Man, and we're on the we do the
Shout out to Franchise Man.
We're actually forming a group now called the Moonlanders, and
Moonlanders.
Yeah, man. It's so it's been a long time coming, but he was always one of my favorite guys to work with because when I would get his orders, it would be a breath of fresh air because he does like actual quality like music in a sphere. He's actually from like the Bay Area, so so we started working together. He's more so like a melodic guy. I provide like more of the lyrics, and yeah, it's just a pleasure to work with him.
Well, you know, one of the things I like about you is you're like the master of the segue, because we were getting ready to go to the Moonlanders track, and all of a sudden you're like, I was working with this guy, the Moonlanders. So this is great. You've done basically me and Danny's job today. Thank you.
Oh man,
Nothing today.
I'll just play. Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Yeah,
So tell us about this track, and then we're gonna play it.
So this one's called Third Eye Love. I'm a real spiritual guy. Like, you know, I love talking about the chakras. I love, you know, talking about tarot. I love talking about God. I love talking about, you know, all the taboo things school tells you not to talk about. All the things
That's
that
right.
in like a, you know, even I probably have a band TED Talk, like the stuff that I've experienced and the stuff that, well, and I've never done any psychedelics or anything. Now let me just put that out there. Have smoked marijuana, but I've never done any psychedelics or anything like that. And I've been invited to, but I'm into like sacred geometry and things of that nature. So yeah, this is ready to show up. The Moonlanders is kind of
Moonlanders.
Yeah, we kind of bring that vibe, like we make it a vibe more so than just the lyrics. And then like with Third Eye Love, it's like, hey babe, like we're talking to the yoga chicks out there. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking to the moms.
That's awesome.
They just dropped the kids off at school.
The yoga chicks.
They're looking for love anyway.
Hey, they got money too, brother. Well, let's do this. We are going to go play this track. Before we wrap up here with you on our interview portion, tell everybody all over the planet where we can find you online and everything.
At Modern MC on Instagram, on Twitter, and yeah, there's nothing more to it. At Modern MC.
Fantastic.
Go and find him.
Well, you have been amazing, my friend, and we will definitely do this again. And we are going to go to the Moonlanders, and when we get back, we will wrap things up. We will, of course, as always, give Danny D the final volley for the day. So let's go to the Moonlanders, and we have got more right now.
Yeah. Giving me that third eye love. We don't need a man. Read about my love with me. Curfew when it's night lights. Got my feelings on a payday. Can't feel, I know we done got our hair like. Is it real? Popping up a flicky in the chill. Tarantino, what's the feel? Flicky with my lover, now need it with a stem. You know I need it bad. Blaze on wings, high feet onto the dash. Hey, they don't see us where you at. Had to bring it back. I can't treat it like no fad, like babe. I got Pinot in my cup. Peace out, seaside, you gon' live it up. Hey, and we had to live it up. Beat it in the bag while you're running to your judge. Only got my eye, yeah. Only got my eye on you. Call on you like you my drug. Giving me that third eye love. Run up on a vibe like yeah. Giving me that third eye love. Yeah. Call on you like you my plug. Need it bad like you my falling like a dream, yeah. Colors I don't see on a regular, yeah. I wanna make love, living on a fleet of vacation. You ain't got my rings on your paper. Can't touch demon cause we way, yeah. Saving with your cake, put my arm around you, that's a lay, yeah. Ay, you know I need it bad. Blaze on wings, I feet onto the dash like, ayy. They don't see us where you at. Had to bring it back. I can't treat it like no fad, like babe. I got Pinot in my cup. Peace out, seaside, you gon' live it up like ayy. And we had to live it up. Beat it in the bag while you're running to your judge like ayy. Yeah. Is it real? Yeah. Wanna know your deal. Had to put my eye on you.
Okay, we are going to go back to Mr. Danny D. Of course, Danny D is famous all over the planet. He's so famous, he's getting phone calls at the studio right now. And we are going to go to Danny D. He is so famous, people are calling my studio line right now wanting to talk to him. So Danny, can you give me your I guess assumptions of what today's been like with all the great guests and everything today?
Yeah, no, I think it's been great. We've had two really exciting young guys on with Matt B and obviously Spence there at the end. Lots of work coming. You know, they're both very different people, different artists, but both very focused, I think, and going to be interesting to see what I've got coming up from both of them.
So, I guess as we wrap up here, for the folks that are listening to us in the United States, how do they find you? How do they listen to you? All these things.
Well, they can catch the show again. It's aired Friday in the UK on Leicester 107.5 FM. And you can also watch and download and listen to the show by visiting our site on Patreon, which is Patreon.com/International Live. You can also get in touch with us via Twitter, which is just @International. There's little, of course, it's not that straightforward, is it? It's never just @International. So I've had to change the I to a 1 and put an extra L on the end.
That's right.
If you can figure that out and find us, that's what we're sort of wrapping this show under.
That's awesome. Well, Danny, I will talk to you next week. Once again,
thank you again, James, for sorting everything out today and getting all the guys on.
Definitely.
And everything.
And I'm hoping. I just sent a message to our supposed to be scheduled guest for next week, and he has confirmed, but I'm not going to say anything until he's sitting in his studio looking at me. Yeah. So, we'll talk to you next week, Danny. Have yourself a wonderful week, sir.
You too.
Thank you, brother. There he goes, Danny D. It is International Live. Thank you for joining us this week, and peace. And I'm Audi 5000.